and gentlemen,
We're back.
we are back for episode 4
Cuatro.
with Damon
And Mike.
and we are
A damn
good show.
Thanks for coming.
Too.
Right on, folks. Right on, right on.
So what do we got? We got an important topic today.
Real important.
Well, it's important to us, and we're going to have a little fun with this one today. Probably not get so serious like we have been.
You think
Well, no, it'll
you
be
think we were
serious.
serious? I don't think we were serious at
Here's
all.
my problem. I'll just cut to the chase. I was on the way taking my daughter to school this morning, and I almost got hit twice. So what do y'all think we're going to talk about?
We're going to talk about birds pooing.
No.
No. So not bird droppings.
And no one has monkeys hanging out their window.
No, none of that.
No.
I think we're going to talk about drivers.
We are
I think we're going
definitely
to talk about drivers
going to
today.
talk about stupid, dumb, inconsiderate drivers.
We may have to cut out the bird poo and monkey comment from earlier, but
No,
no,
we're
we
leaving
gotta
that
leave
in.
Leave that in. Well,
Bad drivers, Mike.
bad drivers. So we're
Seriously,
in Orlando. You do know that, right?
we are in Orlando.
And
we are, just say it,
Florida, and Orlando is one of the main places where tourists come.
They
A lot
do.
of tourists. They come here for, Mickey. They come here for Universal. They come here for SeaWorld. There are a number of different beaches. They come here for a number of different reasons.
Yeah.
So being that you get a lot of tourists, you get a lot of international tourists as well.
Oh, is that where we're going to go with
A
this?
lot of internet. Well, partially, because I look at it from the standpoint is I grew up and we've always talked about, who has the worst drivers in America. Whether it's a city, whether it's a state, who has the worst drivers. And I grew up in Los Angeles. Anyone that's ever been to Los
It
Angeles
sucks.
knows about the traffic that is there, knows
I-10.
how heavy, how slow it moves. I've also been to Atlanta. I'm sure you've been there.
I have been to Atlanta.
And the traffic that they have in Atlanta,
Yeah.
the Beltway around D.C. But really, what it boils down to, none of those places compare to Orlando. None of them.
You think so?
I would say that with 100% confidence.
How much time you spent in New York?
I've spent a lot of time in New York, but see, the problem in New York is it's just congested. It's just a lot of people. That's not necessarily bad drivers. Actually, I would commend the drivers in New York only for the fact that they can move. They can weave in and out of traffic.
They do know how to move. But they also know how to cut you off.
They true, and flick
And
you
they
off.
don't flick you off.
And flick you off.
We were talking about birds, right?
Yeah,
They're flying the bird. I guess maybe I'm spoiled having lived in Germany. But I will tell you, the worst place I've been for drivers,
Orlando.
well, two places.
Orlando.
It's not Orlando.
It's Orlando.
It's not Orlando.
Where?
Djibouti, Africa. I swear to God.
He said Djibouti.
Djibouti, not
He
my
said-
booty.
He
Djibouti.
said Djibouti.
And everybody who's over there now that I still know or have been over there, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay,
Second worst place,
so
Italy.
No, so what makes Djibouti? Because we're gonna stay on Djibouti for a little while, and and
Let's do it.
yeah. So I want to know what makes it worse than Orlando.
They don't know how to drive. Well, first of all, a lot of them didn't have cars.
Okay.
And for a long time, they didn't even have like stoplights.
Okay.
So what happened in the country several years ago, basically there's other countries coming in. It's a major port, right? It's a seaport. So the Chinese came in and paid for all this infrastructure to be put in for traffic lights. Well, if you grow up in a culture that doesn't use traffic lights and the lines in the road are just there for suggestions anyway, what are you going to do when you come up and you see this bright red flashing thing? They had no idea what to do with it.
Well, I mean, I would have hoped or have expectations that the nation or the city of Djibouti provided
It is Djibouti
some
City.
kind of instructional
No.
information.
No.
So just one day they woke up,
Yes.
or went to sleep one day with no light, and then woke up the next day with a light.
I really want someone to vouch for me here.
I mean, because
No, that's actually what
well,
happened.
I mean, I look at it from the standpoint, I wouldn't be any more confused because if, I'm driving down the street and they're doing construction or something that doesn't necessarily impact me, I'm going to just continue driving like normal.
Well,
so
you got to understand, too, people just sit on the streets there, too.
Yeah, but I
They
mean,
literally sit on the curb with their feet hanging out, and people are driving by at 50 miles an hour, and they don't care.
but before the lights were installed, they were still driving and getting around.
They were.
So I mean, I don't see how
Like a
the
clown
light.
car.
I don't see how the lights impacted them to a point that made them worse in Orlando.
So if you're an American coming into the country,
okay,
you know what red
the
light,
lights mean,
green light, yellow light means. You're going to respect the light. And if you're respecting the light and 50 other people don't know what to do and they're just going, it drives you crazy.
Well, see, for me, I'm one of those drivers that I'm the one that gets a ticket and then fights the ticket in court and will say, Your Honor, I was driving with the flow of traffic. So if I go to another country and I see people running the red light, I'm not going to stop like an idiot and get rear-ended. I'm going to proceed with the flow of traffic.
You went there, so what happened, Mike?
Yeah, so I got a ticket in the mail. See, he's bringing up.
I didn't bring it up.
So
he said we were going to talk about it.
So I got a ticket in the mail. I was in Arizona for the Fiesta Bowl for New Year's Day. And on the last day, we were leaving Arizona on January 2nd. Sorry, January 2nd.
After New Year's.
And my flight didn't leave till like 4 p.m. I was up early. People had already begun leaving. I didn't have anything else to do, so I was going out to see the city. I was going to go get something to eat, go check out I think this is Scottsdale Fashion Square. That's what it's called. And I was going to go check it out. Wasn't in a rush. Didn't have anywhere to be because my flight didn't leave till 4. So I'm just cruising.
You on Scottsdale
Apparently,
Boulevard?
I did get to Scottsdale Boulevard, but that's
there's
not where it
100
was.
lights on that road.
Well, all in all, yesterday I get in the mail. I got a ticket from Scottsdale for $242.
Now that's crazy.
And it said, and which blew my mind. It said alleged speed. So it said that I allegedly was going 53 in a 40 mile per hour zone. Now
I'm still wondering that. Like, usually they have to put the radar gun on you and capture it. Like,
well, I guess in Arizona they have the cameras that have radars, and then they actually send you this sheet that gives you a breakdown. It's like a 6-point breakdown of how their technology works, and the primary camera,
so they can defend against you when you come into court.
Against the secondary camera and radar. Well, all in all, there were 3 cars on the road.
Yeah.
Because if any of you have ever received a ticket in the mail, whether running a red light or vice versa, they give you a link to the camera, and so you can actually gives you a video.
Yeah.
And so you can see the video.
See, the video's new.
Yeah.
Because when I got a ticket before in Europe, they just send you the picture with your mugshot.
Yeah. See, I would fight that all the time. I would always fight that.
Well, I might still have an outstanding ticket in Venice.
This is not international yet. We're still domestic. But anyway, I watched the video. There were 3 cars on the road. 2 cars in front of me, and then my car.
And they pointed yours out and said, you got a ticket.
Well, see, I don't know if those other cars got a ticket, but see, my argument is on that ticket that they gave me, it said traveling at a speed not prudent or greater, traveling at a speed greater than prudent or reasonable. And
those are so they're so ambiguous. Like how can you give someone a ticket and say, well, you might have gone this fast?
Well, see, I look at it when I watched the video. I looked at it and I was like, well, the cars in front of me were traveling approximately the same speed. We were the only 3 cars on the road.
Yeah.
So who is to deem our 43, if allegedly we were going that speed, to be unprudent or unreasonable? It wasn't like there was a bunch of cars on the road, heavy traffic, cross traffic, and different things like that. And then, all right, I could probably argue the case on the flip side and say, well, hey, there was a lot of vehicles out there. You're driving too fast with all those vehicles, changing lanes, weaving in and out. That could be dangerous.
Sure.
3 cars on the road, that's deemed unreasonable and
you know what this is actually.
Prudent.
You know, as you've told me this story now twice,
Mm-hmm.
and the thing I'm thinking of right now is the hotbed topic about Big Brother, and how now we're gonna have to start fighting artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. This is like I don't know why I'm just now noodling this, but Now you have to fight against the camera, or you have to fight against the computer system that says you did something.
Well, see, I find it hilarious because you look at the ticket that I got, they have a person that reviews it, and then that person signs off on it.
Well, yeah, of course.
That
So
person
there's
signs
already human interaction for that, but still.
At the same time, it states alleged. So there's no human or person there to, at the time of the alleged violation, that it was accurate. And so you just got to go based off of the system and that it was, I guess, calibrated appropriately.
Well,
and
you've always
that
had to fight that. Remember they used to have the tuning forks for the old radar systems?
Yes.
Did you ever see those?
That was well before my
that
time,
was a long
sir.
time ago.
My thing is, and we got to get back to the traffic because I'm still arguing the fact that Orlando has the worst. But all in all, yes, people, I got a ticket. I am right now contesting it. I spoke to the courts out there on the phone, and it was recommended that I write a fax to the judge just to see what their opinion is on whether or not I should request an out-of-state hearing.
Yeah, well, that's tough too because I got a ticket once in Virginia after we moved to Florida, and I had to drive all the way up there to go to court.
Well,
and I don't get speeding tickets. It's probably like the second one I've ever gotten.
Well, you want to hear another funny part about this Arizona thing?
Sure.
This Arizona thing. So on the ticket or the certificate, whatever they call it there, they give you several options as far as to kind of handle the process.
Okay.
You can either do option A, which is to pay the ticket, $242.
Admit guilt.
Or option B, yes, option A is admit guilt, pay the ticket. Option B is to say it wasn't you. I wasn't the one driving. But they have a picture, so it'd be a little difficult to argue that one. 3, you can request a hearing where you actually have to go in, or you can do it out of state, which would apply to me. The 4th, which is option D, is to do defensive driving school.
Right.
So, and if you do the defensive driving school, they say, all right, well, you don't got to worry about the points. You don't have to pay the fine.
Sure.
So I'm like, all right, cool. Let me look into that. So I look into that, and I start checking schools. Well, first I checked Florida schools. Florida schools, boom, it was $20 to take the class.
I'd do that all day long.
And I was like, yeah, why wouldn't I do that? So I call the school, and they say, well, you need to check with Arizona.
Doesn't transfer.
To make sure that it's valid. Make sure it's valid. So, no.
That's because everyone knows that Florida driving sucks. So
Orlando. Thank you. Orlando. Anyway, so I contact the schools in Arizona. How much do you think the ticket, the fee was for the online course?
Well, you said the ticket was
$242. Take the
class.
class.
Online course is probably like $250.
$244.
Same price.
$244. Why on God's earth would I pay $2 more?
I'll tell you why.
To take a class.
You're in state, because you don't want the points on your.
That's what they said. So they did verify that
so you're paying the same amount. Man, that's extortion.
It is. I was like,
because they know you're gonna. They know you're gonna pay $2 extra.
You are robbing people, Arizona. You are robbing people. $244 to take a 4.5 hour class. So I got to pay you more money to take a class. But they explain that you get the points, or you don't have the points added to your license.
Well, now, does the points apply to your license here in Florida?
It does not apply to my points here in Florida. So, but if I don't pay the fine or address it, then they're going to send what the lady said. Now, no lie. This lady told me from the court, and I'm not going to reveal her name because I don't want to get her in trouble if this is true or inaccurate.
Just a random person.
She told me that if you do nothing, because I'm out of state, if I do nothing, that they will escalate it to another agency that will send it to the state of Florida. And then the state of Florida or that agency. Wait, not the police. It's just that I have to be served. And if they are unable to serve you in 90 days, then it goes away.
Ooh, that's kind of like the Survivor.
Yes. It was a show.
Right?
It was a show. It was I can't remember the name of it. It was
it wasn't Survivor.
It was not Survivor. It was like a police show. It was only one season.
I don't know.
Well, anyway.
Not like the one you asked me about.
What was it called?
I don't remember.
It was
anybody's where you go hiding, and you got to see if they can come catch you.
Was it Bait? It was a show where if you were selected. You had to go and run, and they had a team of professional trackers like bounty hunters, former CIA, former FBI investigators that would use all the resources that they had available to track you. And if you could stay hidden or avoid being captured for 30 days, then you win $1 million.
We both agreed that we could probably do it.
I think we could do it.
But then they canceled the show.
They canceled the show after one season. I thought it was intriguing. I thought it was an interesting show.
Well, now instead of making the primetime TV, we're doing this.
Yes. So anyway,
all right.
Yeah.
So Arizona sucks too.
I can hide for 90 days for and
we could
avoid
probably
this
do
ticket.
it. Good luck with that. Maybe the judge will have some mercy on you.
Well, we'll see. I'll let you know what he said.
Well, bottom line is there's a lot of crappy drivers out there. Yeah. There's a lot of crappy drivers. And first and foremost, I know people see this on the internet. They've seen the memes. They've seen the videos. Mm-hmm. Stay off your damn phone while you're driving, please.
Well, you know that's a new law, too.
It is absolutely a new law, but it's also a new law. You're not supposed to be in the left lane while you're going down the highway blocking everybody's in the way, because now people, for whatever reason, don't stay in the right lane. They want to sit and hang out in the left lane. The left lane is meant for passing. And I know there's people out there that's going to disagree with me, and there's going to be a bunch of self-righteous people and be like, well, I can go wherever I want. I don't care. It's been proven to slow traffic if you stay in the left lane. And they actually said they're going to start enforcing it here in Florida. Yeah. I don't know how they're going to do that. They're going to trail you for a while and then say, hey, you need to get over. But if you're going to speed limit, what are they going to tell you?
Well, actually, there is a code. There's a Florida code.
No, there is, actually.
There's a Florida code.
Yeah.
So if they're trailing you, and really how the law breaks down, if you are traveling in that lane and you are not passing anyone, then you have to then get over. Now, there is a buffer. So hypothetically saying, if there is a vehicle that you're passing and then you're still traveling within the speed limit, obviously, but you're approaching another vehicle with maybe 2 or 3 car lengths, then they would give you that buffer or the benefit of the doubt to allow you to continue on past that vehicle.
That's a little subjective, but I mean, hopefully they're going to do something about it.
But that's what it is. And then a vehicle like a police vehicle, they may trail you and see how far you go before you get over. And if you're no longer passing, then that's when they'll pull you over. And
let me tie this into what you said earlier, because I've been trying to think about why is it that people do this now. Because when I grew up learning how to drive, like I got, Coach Proctor, he was a football coach at our school. He was also our driving instructor. He would, small town, he took us on the back roads. He also took us on the highway. I mean, we learned everything from step 1 to the end about proper driving etiquette and all that fun stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Why do people ignore that stuff today? Are they not being taught? Is it, you said that there's a lot of tourists that come in, right? There could be a lot of people from out of the country where in their culture and their environment, they don't follow the same rules. They just go where they want. And I can tell you for a fact that's true. Like Djibouti and like Italy. Italy's one of the worst places to drive. You'll get run over. That's, to me, I'm like, why are people doing this? And now maybe with all the cultural things going on, the shifts here in the States, people feel like, oh, well, I'll just do what I want anyway. Is that part of it too? Well, I don't know.
I think that plays a part, but if you really think about it and look at the aspects, when we were growing up, we had driver's ed. You had that as part of the curriculum at school, where they actually taught you how to drive. Now that's and that's if it's an extracurricular, because some schools don't even offer it, period. And
I know they do at our school here, but it's like you have to take a whole period. It's not like it's like a part of another class.
Yeah.
But they encourage you just to go by the course. So
yeah, but there are very few schools that offer it. That's the point that I'm making, is that it's not as standard as it was back in the day.
You still got to take the test.
You do, but the test, I mean, really, it's.
I'll tell you why I don't like
it's
the test
simple.
It is simple, but when I first moved to Florida, we got in line to get in DMV. We were trading our old driver's license for our new ones. Right, that's all we were doing. My wife and I. We get up in the line. And the kiosks to take the test used to be right next to where the line was. See, there was no getting by it. And there were other people that English wasn't their first language, which is okay, right? But they would allow someone to come help them translate. But no one was sitting there proctoring it. So you really got maybe 2 people taking the test potentially sometimes too. And I don't know if people took advantage of that over time or if it became a problem. And again, I don't really care if you take it in English, Spanish, Japanese, Italian, but at the end of the day, you got two people taking a test, and maybe the first person that should have been taking a test didn't know what they were talking about.
Well, I would say this is one of my biggest issues, and everything boils around money.
Yeah.
When you're learning how to drive and you think about the process right now, you go in and essentially you are steering the car. They want to make sure you can steer and you can control the vehicle, right? I mean, that's
sure.
number one. Then they want to make sure that you are familiar with the standard signs and markings, a stop sign, red light, yellow light, and whether or not you can park. That's pretty much the extent of a driving lesson. Can you maneuver the car, and can you recognize and know what to do when you see particular markings, right?
I'm not sure because I haven't seen it.
But the problem, but this is the problem, and the problem is that there are so many different variables and situations that can happen when you're on the road. There's no way that they can test for that.
No,
in one setting.
They couldn't back when you and I learned how to drive either.
But see, I look at it from the standpoint you were in a class. You were taking a class that in some cases, many cases back then, was required. So you had to sit in there, and you had a semester of it. It wasn't a one-day thing. It wasn't a weekend thing.
Well, I'll tell
it was
you,
a semester.
I will tell you what, and you're going to see this soon.
Mm-hmm.
I just recently started looking into this for my son because he's going to get his permit in about 5 months.
Oof. Insurance.
Okay. Yes. My oldest son is getting his permit in 5 months. Wow. I'm a little encouraged, I guess, because I started looking at the program in Florida. They give you your permit for 1 year.
Okay.
So it used to be, 15 and 5 months or whatever it was. I forget what it was. Now it's 15. You can get, and you don't have to get it. Your parents have to allow you.
Okay.
But in order to do it, you have to pass this online curriculum. And in some schools, they actually offer it as part of a class if you want to do it. So there is a certain amount of testing they have to take before they even get their learners. I remember when I got mine, I just walked in with my parents and they signed a piece of paper and I was
on the road.
And then, of course, there's all the rules about you have to drive so many hours and you can only drive during the day. You can't drive past like 10 p.m. or something like that at night until the next morning, unless you're going to work. Like if you're 16, wait until that. But even at 16, there's a probation period after you get your license. I think it's 6 months, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. It's either 6 months or a year. So I'm a little hopeful that the new process, if we can call it new, because I don't know, 20 years, 30 years, a long time has gone by since I got mine.
Mine's recent.
It's funny. Total tangent. We were going through some boxes of some old stuff recently, and my wife found my learner's permit. I don't know why it's still in one of the boxes.
Oh, wow.
But I found it. It'd be kind of funny to put next. Anyway.
Well,
so I'm hopeful.
Okay.
I hope they change it. But here's the bottom line for me. Okay. A lot of it's safety.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the serious part. I'm gonna throw some statistics out because we actually did a little bit of research before we talked about.
We did research this time.
A little bit, not much. In 2018, 25% of all motor vehicle crashes ended up in a fatality. 25%. That's a lot. And the teens were the largest group. 58% of them were teens that were distracted.
Texting.
Just distracted. It could have been anything. But generally, you
could have been friends in the car.
Could have been whatever. Just thinking about whatever. School, friends, girlfriend broke up with me. Whatever the reason is. Or they're putting on makeup. I swear, I saw a mom taking her kid to school the other day, and she was putting on makeup while she was driving down the road.
So the lady that I made the assumption is a lady. I apologize. The person that you were that almost hit you today, because you said twice.
There was two of them.
Two of them. So what were they? Were you able to see if they were distracted?
So one of them I couldn't see, but she was kind of talking to the person next to her. I don't know if it was her child or whatever. And the other one, for whatever reason, was just being impatient. Okay. I went down one of the back roads here that I always go down every morning to school, and there's a couple speed bumps, and it goes right past, what are they, like a home for people who need assisted living.
Okay.
Can't think. So I'm going past the assisted living. Of course, there's a speed limit through there, and they put speed bumps.
Mm-hmm.
This chick must have been in a real hurry because I was going over the speed bumps, and she just went right around me just to get to the stop sign and wait.
I see that all the time, and I laugh.
Oh, my God.
I laugh at those moments.
I didn't laugh at first because it pissed me off. And then after I saw her that she ended up waiting, then I started laughing.
Yeah, I mean, because they're in a rush and they end up right in the same spot they would have been had they just been patient.
Well, don't get me wrong. Like, I do get kind of irritated at it, clearly. But at the, it is kind of funny because you got to feel bad for some of those people. Mm-hmm. If you're impatient, what the hell are you in a hurry for? Like, you really have to get somewhere that fast?
Well, could be late. I mean, there are a number of reasons, priority for some people.
All right, so if you go 2 miles from here to wherever you're going and you're 1.3 minutes late, are you really late?
Technically, if you ask some sports coaches,
well,
if
on
you
time
are,
is late. I get it.
On time is late.
On time is late.
5 minutes early.
I prescribed to that a little bit.
Yeah. So anyway.
So right, the seriousness of it, the safety aspect of it for me is serious, especially with a teenager getting ready to start driving.
And for me, truly, the argument is that Orlando has the worst drivers of anywhere in the world. I'm not letting that go. I'm sticking with that. The things that I have seen, the things that I have witnessed since I've been here. So for those of you that are going to come and visit Orlando, just make sure you guys are prepared. Make sure you guys stay safe. Keep your seatbelts on. Do not use your phone while you are driving. Stay focused, people.
Especially on I-4.
That's all I want to say. Stay focused.
For those of you who have been down and come down to Disney World, I-4 sucks. You know it does. Just be vigilant.
Yeah.
That's why we don't live near it.
That's why we don't.
We don't go down there that often.
Well, that's all I got today.
Distracted driving, man. Clean it up. Stay out of the left lane. Stop passing people on the right. It's not safe.
I actually saw somebody make a right turn from the left-hand lane.
Oh, that happens all the time.
All the time in Orlando.
Oh, again, don't get me started on traffic circles. We didn't even cover that.
Yeah.
Or you go up to Jersey where they got jug handles.
Or the foreign substance that falls from the earth or from the sky to the earth. That happens sporadically here in Orlando.
What is it? Rain?
Rain. I think it's called rain.
We only see it during hurricanes.
Yeah, but they have no idea what to do when that happens.
No.
So anyway, people, we want to thank you for your time today, and we hope you enjoyed the show. You got a little information out of it.
Yeah. Stay safe. We put a few questions out there. We want to hear from you guys. Seriously. Give us some topics. We want to know kind of where to go with the show. We've got a few ideas for some segments that are coming up. I hope you'll enjoy them. So stay tuned for that. And thank you to all the listeners that have been out there already.
Podcast.
We are doing episode 4, and we finally got distributed on some podcasts. So go out there and check them out. We'll put the link in the comment section or the description here.
Yes.
So check them out, and thank you. So end of the show, episode 4.
Episode 4.
This is Damon.
This is Mike.
And this is a damn good show.
Peace.
Peace.